I make myself laugh. All right, cool. So this was Westcott Crypto. This was actually a fun one. He says, please check out the new movie, Pulseface. Be sure to share, like, comment, retweet, and subscribe. He's got the YouTube channel right there. And you can actually click that if you'd like to subscribe. You got HEX, hexicans. He says all the tags. Let's get rich, right? And so this is a fun little thing because so many times you see these little short videos where people go through and pretend to be different people walking into a room and play different characters. And so what he did in this video was he actually took the persona of a Hex character or a Hex maxi, in my opinion. I haven't seen this. This is going to be the first time watching it live with y'all. More of a reaction type deal. But let's see what we got going on. Let's take a little peeky weeky at the video. But then he goes through and plays PulseChain. I'm sure PulseChain Maxi plays a PulseX Maxi. So I'm very curious to see how this ends up going because I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's probably more bullish on PulseX, but I think we're all going to win. And so, yeah, let's check this out.
Gentlemen, glad you all decided to come. Let's start by talking about what's bothering us today. What's bothering me? Nothing's bothering me. I have some of the lowest fees and the most secure network. I don't know if that's true. I have some features that people really seem to like. Buy and burn? Buy and burn. We're still talking about that? This guy. You're both delusional. I'm the only cryptocurrency worth talking about. Let's see, I have a loyal fan base and cutting edge technology that'll put you both to shame. Look, guys, it's understandable that each of you feel strongly about your position, but it's important to remember it's not a competition. Yeah, right. That's easy for you to say. Honestly, I wish people would just give me a chance. I mean, I have good features. I feel like I'm just always overlooked. That's because you're overlooked. People only want you because they missed out on me. He's got a point. I mean, please not go there. I get really insecure about it. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't both of you guys stop being so pathetic and start asserting yourself? Hey. You haven't even launched yet. Hey. Hex, you're nothing compared to me. My blockchain is the fastest and most secure. You're just a cheap knockoff of ETH 2.0. I'm the only one with innovation and originality. Guys, are you willing to die on that hill? Because we can make arrangements. Guys. Oh yeah, we could definitely make arrangements if you'd launch already. He's talking to Jesus Christ. Do it. Oh, whoa, easy. Go ahead. Do it. Guys, nobody has to get hurt. Go ahead, pull the trigger. We're still gonna play this game or what? PulseChain, that's enough. We cannot let you destroy this session. You need to leave. Oh yeah? Make me. You said nobody has to get hurt. Please, have a family. True. But I didn't say nobody has to die. You see, Doc, we all know that there's only room for one top dog in this blockchain. And, I think we both know who that is.
Bro, that was fire. Okay. I give a shout out to fucking Westcott Crypto on that one for sure. I've already liked and retweeted before I even started this stream. That shit was fire, dude. Not gonna lie. That was I know he's bullish on PulseX based on his videos and what he does in the space of crypto and his YouTube. So he definitely is bullish on PulseX. That shit. Oh shit, that's funny. Now that's exactly what's happening, folks. We have so many people in our community that we're becoming divisive within our community. It is a crazy thing. Like, people are saying, you know, one's better than the other and one's gonna do this. And folks, it's a 4-pillar fucking ecosystem here. And I truly do mean that. Get as much PulseChain as you can. Get as much PulseX as you can. Hold on to your HEX on Ethereum. Get it copied on PulseChain so you have PHEX. Let these be the 4 pillars of your freaking ecosystem. It's a financial stability. It's a foundation for a house. Then you can go do whatever the F you want. If you missed out on some of the other things like PulseChain, for example, and you only sacrifice for PulseX, well, what you should probably do, and I've talked about this before too, is move some of the profits out of PulseChain and into out of PulseX and into PulseChain. Like, start planning right now what you're gonna do when that time comes, because we've done this math so many times, and these numbers, folks, get absolutely freaking bonkers. Now, to give you an example, once again, for folks who did end up sacrificing, there was a lot of folks who sacrificed $1,000 or more for PulseChain. So for this example, we're just gonna do $1,000. And we're just gonna say PulseChain goes and does a 60x within the first, I don't even care, 6 months. And I think that's very low ball, okay? Very, very low ball, okay? Now, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I damn sure ain't Cleo, and I can't predict the future, or Miss Cleo, and I can't predict the future. But what I can do is try to come up with some sort of idea and strategy to say, I'm going to have a 60x return. What do I do if I don't have any HEX? What do I do if I don't have any PulseChain? What should my play be? Well, folks, your play should be to take some profits from PulseX and move them into PulseChain, move them into HEX. Make sure you have the foundation built, because if one goes up, they're probably all gonna move together for a period of time, just like the correlation chart between Ethereum and Bitcoin that we've seen previously. They're going to be very correlated with each other. Now, it's not gonna be a perfect one-to-one correlation, so that just means when one goes up, the other's guaranteed to go up. But for the most part, when one pulls up, or what is it, the rising tide lifts all ships, that's kind of what's gonna be coming on with this whole thing here. You take some profits and you move them into one of the things that you missed out on. So let's just say, for shits and gigs, that you then move $1,000 into PulseChain. Well, perfect. And what I would do, if you have a $60,000 return on a $1,000 investment, well, I would personally probably end up getting myself some HEX, and I would end up getting myself some PulseChain, and I would just do the same $1,000 from there. Because you gotta have a long-term mindset when it comes to crypto, folks. Stop having a short-term mindset. Quit thinking about what's gonna happen in the next 6 months, in the next year. What's gonna happen in the next 5 to 10 years? What's gonna happen in the next 15? That is what I'm looking for. Can I have a short-term goal and a short-term vision to take some profits? Sure, but the mindset should be long-term. You can have a short-term vision and focus on what you're going to do in the interim and make sure that you do the correct plays, but your long-term goal should be a long-term goal, right? Make sure you focus on long-term. That is where we win in crypto. So let's pull this up. Well, goodness gracious, in 6 months, you got $60,000 in PulseChain. That's still well within the relative early time for you got $60,000 in PulseX. That's still relatively early. So let's say in the first 6 months, you move $1,000 into PulseChain. God forbid you get it on a dip, because we know that prices dip 60, 70, 80, 90%. So maybe you pull some profits here, you buy some here on the dip, and then guess what? PulseChain goes and does 100x, for example. And this could be within the first, I don't know, year after you buying, right? Like, let's just toss out some random numbers for now, because these are possible returns that are very likely to happen. So if we have 100x here and you moved over after the 6 months of you being in PulseX, you move over $1,000 into HEX. Well, let's just say HEX goes and does another 50x. And that's, again, lowballing it, but hopefully you were able to buy some on the dip. Well, you have turned essentially what was only $3,000 of an initial investment to $210,000, folks. Like, and this is all within probably a year. That's all very short term. But my long-term mindset says, what happens when PulseX goes and does a 3000x, right? What happens when PulseChain goes and does a 4000x? What happens when HEX goes and does 1000x in the next 10 years? Well, you just turned $3,000 into $8 million. Like, I don't get how people don't understand this. Take some profits, move them into something that you didn't have, and reap the rewards. Like, yeah, you aren't gonna make the perfect play. I don't want you to make the perfect play. We are not trying to make a perfect play here. We are setting a foundation for ourselves that secures our future for success in the crypto world. If you really do want to make it in the crypto world and you really do want to be invested in this long term, then start thinking long term, right? Have a long term vision. Stop having the short term, or have a long term goal, have a long term mindset, have a long term mentality. You can do short term plays that can benefit you in the long term, okay? So I just wanted to share this with everyone because I think people are focusing way too much on one or the other. And I don't think it's one or the other, folks. It's fucking all of them, right? It's all you get as many as you can. And you literally try to get as many as you can, as much as you can, because this is a future that we are so blessed to even be considering right now happening. Like, we are so fortunate to even be in this situation, to even have these thoughts before something launches. So when it does launch, well, hopefully you've got yourself a good plan, okay? And I'm not saying to wait until this does a 4x, for example. Like, say this only goes and does a 5x in the beginning, and this is just within the first month. And this is all these numbers are so freaking low, in my opinion. In my opinion, I'm not a financial advisor. Again, I ain't Miss Cleo. I can't see the future. But in my opinion, these are all very conservative estimates of what I'm guessing. So if PulseX goes and does a 5x, well, you've turned $5,000 out of $1,000. You take some money and you move it over here. Now, maybe that's within the first month. So maybe you can actually then take $1,000 over here, $1,000 over here. And then guess what? In the first year, maybe this goes and does a 519x. Maybe this goes and does a 1000x. And then maybe this goes and does another, what was my estimate on HEX? Reaching 100x. So that's all within a year's time frame. You'd turn $3,000 into $1.6 million. Like, I don't see how people can't get this through their head. These numbers are fucking possible. They are real. They are very likely to happen. You can achieve this if you set forth a good strategy, folks. The 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. If you can prepare now to say, I'm not gonna just hold one. I will not put all my eggs in one basket. Will PulseChain do better? We don't know. Will PulseX do better? We don't know. Will HEX be the main winner? We don't know. But what we can know is that this Richard Hart ecosystem, this vertically integrated system that we have, is in fact very likely to succeed. So why would I want to take a risk and miss out on something that possibly does that 1000x? And why would I want to take a risk and miss out on even something that goes and does a 100x, right? Like, why would I want to miss out on this? I don't. I have zero desire to miss out on this opportunity, and I don't think anyone should be focused on only one. I'm going to share this as many times as I can with folks to try to express the thought process to this mentality that you need to get into of a long-term mindset. What are you going to do to make sure that you succeed in this world of crypto? I have what I'm going to do. I know what my strategy is, and I was so blessed and fortunate to have been a part of the sacrifice for PulseChain, to have been a part of the sacrifice for PulseX, to already have my HEX stakes set up. But if you don't have them set up, you're still so early. Like, you haven't missed anything yet. Start now. Why wait? Like, if you have a long-term mindset, do something now. You're going to benefit so great in the future that I cannot even express in a different way. But I wanted to share this with y'all again, you know, because that little video that he has here, this shit's funny, but it kind of goes back to what everyone's thinking, that one's gonna do better than the other, that one is the way to go, and I just don't think that's the case.